It's your boy King Hustle. Yes, it's the best money and credit channel on YouTube. So make sure you subscribe and hit the all notification bell. So whenever I drop new sauce, new lessons, new methods, and giveaways, you'll be the first one to be notified. You'll be the first one to know what's going on. And hey, you might be the first one to win something for free. So make sure you subscribe and hit the all notification bell on the YouTube channels. Also, make sure you follow me on my Twitch, King Hustle Live. I do all my freebies and giveaways from those YouTube channels and the Twitch. So make sure you subscribe and hit the notification bell so you won't miss out on nothing. Also, make sure you follow me on all my social media platforms. All you gotta do is click the title on every video. Once you click the title on every video, at the bottom in the description, all my social media links will pop up. All right. Got a lot of fake King Hustle pages out there, so please get a FaceTime verification call or a video to make sure you see this face. Make sure you are doing legit business and you are getting what you paid for. All right. And before we get anything started, this is all educational purposes only, not telling anybody to do anything. So let's get this thing started. Hey, let's get this thing started. Hey, what to do, my real King Hustle fans, supporters, subscribers out there, my real Hustle Nation Empire family members. And we are back at it again with the gems, back at it again with the sauce, back at it again with the information that's going to turn you into a boss. So you're tired of being a zero, you ready to be a family hero? Listen up, take a seat, get your notepad and get your pen, because you already know when I drop these videos and y'all get them notifications, it's going to be some information that's going to help you win, keep you entertained, or keep you informed. So with that being said, we got another King Hustle Crazy. No, we today we're gonna talk about these new methods, these new scams. They got a lot of people making quick, fast cash. A lot of people making money in different ways, and it's a lot of people who've never done anything in this type of world that are starting to hop into it and making new money. All right, so it's a lot of new things going on. It's a lot of new scams, new methods, new fraud, new bank. A lot going on in the world today, and it's all stemming from COVID-19. Before COVID-19, scams and fraud was not as popularized. You didn't see everybody trying to do a scam or do a method or get a CPN or do this and do that. But ever since COVID-19 and people seeing how people were utilizing fraud and scams to get loans, credit cards, and lines of credit and apartments and make lump sums of money, now this perception of scams and fraud is like it's quick, fast money. Anybody can do it, and not everybody wants to do it. And there are people who are actually getting into this world who are making a lot of money, but there are also a lot of people who are getting into this world that is losing a lot of money, that is going to jail, that are catching cases and things like that. So today's video, we were talking about the top methods, the top sauce, the top scams that's going on in today's world. They got everybody and their mama getting some money. Yes, everybody and their mama getting some money. Even the little babies getting some money, if you want to say it like that. All right. So with that being said, let's get into these gems, this sauce, this information that's gonna keep people informed. All right. So there are billions and millions and hundreds and thousands of methods that's going on out there in the world today. A whole lot. And people figure out or want to do anything that's as easy as possible that can get them the most residuals as possible. So you got a lot of different methods out there, from credit card fraud, check fraud, identity theft, um, OTP bots, spoofing, SIM swapping, uh, malware hacking, system database hacking. It's a lot of different methods out there. And you got Ponzi schemes, you got ghost employees, you got, listen, wherever there's money being made, there's going to be some type of scam or fraud being committed. There's going to be a method to do the exact same thing in a fraudulent way. And people are starting to realize that. So people are, especially people who are new to the game, new to the world, they're trying to figure out the easiest ways to make money. So one way, easy way for these people to make money is with these methods. A lot of these methods are just going around out there are helping people with different type of things, as far as the buy now pay later method with the Klarna app. People are utilizing that method to get credit limits, credit lines, and buy iPhones, buy gadgets, buy different equipment, buy different things, resell them on social media and make a profit that way. And then people are selling the method, like selling the instructions on how to do this method or whatever. So a lot of people are getting to the Klarna, the firm method, where they're getting credit limits that's allowing them to go buy different items, iPhones, laptops, whatever, game systems, and resell them on the market. All right. So that's definitely a new method that people are starting to utilize. And it all stems from credit and credit profiles. If somebody has a good credit score, they're going to have a great chance of getting approved for that line of credit. Even if you don't got a good credit score, they still approving people with that. And people are starting to figure out the loopholes of certain things and get fools and profiles to open up these Klarna firm accounts and other people's names so it won't come back on them. So people getting X amount of profiles of fools and open out an X amount of whatever and getting almost $100,000 in lines of credit and buying phones and laptops, they're gonna have a nice little stolen retail business going on, right? So be on the lookout for that Klarna method is going on. Don't be safe with that. All right, don't be somebody to put yourself in a position where you owe money and your credit profile is now messed up because you got you a Klarna account and thought you was cool and thought they weren't gonna come back and want their money back. All right, so the Klarna method is definitely being popularized right now. A lot of people are utilizing the method and getting these credit limits. And then another method that's going on right now is the SIM swapping and the spoof and bots calling and text messaging. People are starting to utilize and figure out loopholes in different systems. And a loophole in the bank system is that bank accounts and things like that are FDIC insured. That means that they are insured from fraudulent activities, not scam activities. So by scammers knowing this, they are now social engineering people or victims into basically sending their own money with their own authorization due to this spoofing. Now, what's the spoof? Well, basically, people are buying these spoof bots, utilizing them on different websites. You can get them on Telegram everywhere. And what they do is you can basically put whatever number that you want to pop up when you call. So people are putting these banks' fraud department's number in as if they are really the fraud department from that bank. Now, back in the day, a lot of people used to just buy system databases and just text anybody and everybody on the database. But at the end of the day, when people and scammers and fraudsters did that, they started to realize that everybody doesn't have a such and such bank. So they put their resources together, they put their mind together, and they said, okay, instead of just getting random information, why don't we get information that's particularly that pertains to that bank and only that bank? So now instead of getting 3 to 4 people to respond back, everybody that they are contacting, they know has a bank account with that bank. So depending on who that person is in the situation, in the sense of urgency, will determine if they get a text message back or if they fall for it or not. So just imagine scammers going from 6 people responding back to 60 people responding back because these people actually have banks accounts with that bank that they're acting as if they are. So they go buy these databases off the dark web. There's a lot of different places on the dark web that people utilize to buy information. They get this information. Now they know everybody who has a bank account with this bank and have certain information. So they let's say it's a Chase Bank. They put the Chase Bank fraud department number in the spoofer. They call they send out the text message just like a regular bank would do. So they hey, are you trying to spend $500 at Walmart? Are you trying to send out $2,000 transfer $2,000 wire in? Yes or no? People text back no. Because at the end of the day, when a text message like that comes and it catches you off guard, and you actually have a bank account with that bank, it's gonna raise some type of urgency, some type of fright in that person's mind, body, and soul because they actually have a bank account with them. Now, if they would have got a text message from a bank that they don't even got, it would have been a different ball game. But by it being a bank that they actually have, it's a different urgency that comes upon them. So it's gonna throw them off like what? No. Now they kind of afraid. So they go text back no. And now that the scammer or the fraudster who's on the other end, it's all social engineering work. So basically, what they're doing is they're just trying to get you to give them their username and their passwords. Once they get that, they can now log into that victim's bank account. Once they log into that victim's bank account, now there's one more step before they log in. That's the one-time password that has to be sent to the victim's phone or email for them to confirm that it's them. This is the tricky part right here because once that victim gives the scammer that information, all fair and games is now off from that victim getting their money back because from the outside looking in, it looks like this person is the one who's actually going into their logging into their bank account and sending this money out. And there's no way for a bank to verify if it is them or if it's not because they're using their actual information and they had the right one-time password code. So scammers, social engineer people to give them their personal information or send them money to different places or they might lock their account, wire money out to different places. Even when the banks can see where the money is going, they still do nothing because banks don't cover scams; they cover fraudulent activity. Now, what's the difference between fraudulent activity and scam activity? If somebody was to basically get your information, open up a bank account, um, apply for a credit card, apply for an account, get these credit cards and different things, that's fraudulent activity. That's when fraud occurs. But somebody social engineers somebody into sending their own money by themselves, that's a scam. And banks don't cover scams, and banks will basically not give that person back their money because of that scam. Now, when some of these stories hit the news, then that's when the banks try to kick in and try to give the people back their money because they don't want to be um looked at as a place, an institution where people put their money in. People are stealing from that institution and not they're not giving their money back. So they don't want that image on their bank. So a lot of times with these OTP bots and spoof calls and text messages, banks don't really comply or help the person out until it hits the news or hits the fan. And that's when they finally want to kick in and start paying back people their money. But banks don't want to pay back nobody money if they got scammed. Only fraudulent activity. So OTP bots, spoofing, these methods, and then you got people who are starting to learn about these flipper zeros, these tools, this ghost tapping. People are walking past, people are being in certain facilities and basically shooting out codes is compromising people's debit and credit card information, compromising people's um, key fobs and different things like that. So the flipper zero tool is definitely becoming popular. Check fraud has always been popular. It's just so much going on in today's world that people are utilizing to commit some type of fraud or some type of scam. Even new people. I'm talking about people who've never thought about committing a scam or fraud or doing a method before a day in their life are jumping up and saying, "Hey, I want to buy this method. Hey, I want to buy this sauce. Hey, I want to do this and do that." And they're making 10,000, 20,000, 40, 50,000 dollars faster than they ever made before, even if they even made that amount of money before. And now they're brainwashed because now they got this rush and all this money and they see how to do it. And now they're brainwashed and doing it over and over and over again. Like I said, most of these crimes, most of these methods, most of these schemes are of technology scams, system scams. Most methods you got to use a computer or utilize get some information to do something or documentations to do something. So people figure out ways to do a lot of different things and they figure out how to do it in a way that can benefit them. And by people seeing all day on social media up and down, seeing people flash hundreds of thousands of dollars and people being in situations where they need fast cash, they're starting to resort to the scam and the fraud world, the dark web world. And some people are making money and some people are not. So it's just all about being more safe, being more cautious, and being more aware out there because at the end of the day, nobody wants to become a victim of a scam or fraud. So, like I tell you guys all the time, make sure you guys are getting your Norton LifeLock to monitor your financial accounts and your social media accounts to make sure no suspicious activity is going on. And it will also monitor the dark web to make sure none of your personal information is on there floating around. Make sure you guys are freezing all three of your credit profiles, TransUnion, Equifax, and Experian. If they are frozen, nobody can get anything in your name and get any type of loans, credit cards, lines of credit, apartments, cars, nothing. All right, so if you're not utilizing your credit profiles, make sure you guys are freezing those. Make sure you guys are getting new credit card and debit card numbers every so often. We insert, swipe, tap all the time. And every time we do, they're on a database and getting placed on some type of database. And just imagine how long you had that card and been using it. So get new cars, get new numbers. That old information that's on all them old databases will no longer be valid. And there's always a compromise, leak, or hack that's going on. So if it does and your old information is part of that, it won't be valid and you'll be safe. All right. So make sure you guys are getting your Norton LifeLock, freezing your credit bureaus and profiles, and getting new credit card and debit card numbers every so often. Also, make sure you guys are checking out those new wallets that will protect you from these type of ghost tapping schemes. All right. There are special wallets out there that you can get, that you can purchase that will prevent anybody from being able to use a flipper zero, any device to steal your information without even being next to you. All right. So make sure you guys are staying more cautious, being more aware, and being more safe of what's going on out there in this crazy real world that we live in. Because at the end of the day, these things are real, these things are happening, and anybody become a victim. So make sure you stay more safe, stay more cautious, and be more aware. Shout out to all my real King Hustle fans, supporters, and subscribers out there because without y'all, there'd be no me. Y'all motivate me to keep going. Y'all motivate me to keep dropping this sauce. And y'all motivate me to keep y'all entertained. So shout out to all of y'all. Anybody out there that's tired of being broke because it ain't no joke, let's get to work. FaceTime 101 limited gems are $1,000. But for limited time only, I'm doing it for 600. Yes, 600 Cash App or Bitcoin payment. Once the 600 is on your Cash App or Bitcoin balance, send me a screenshot. Let me know your payment ready, and we will go from there. All right. No screenshots, no replies, no 21 questions, and please do not yell me. Make sure y'all book your seat on the month-long webinar. Make sure y'all book your seat on the webinars. Monday, Wednesdays, and Fridays, 250. Make sure y'all book your seat on the crypto tour in person limited gyms, 3,500. Make sure y'all booking your seat on the month-long mentorship, $1,000. Make sure y'all checking out my vendor platforms and my vendor platforms on Telegram and the Potato App Millionaire Network World. Still looking for people for the production company. Make sure y'all subscribe and hit the all notification bell on my YouTube channels, my Twitches, my IGs, and TikToks. Make sure y'all checking out the crypto world because it's changing people's lives. And make sure y'all getting in where y'all fit in with these lotos. All right, 120 and up, Cash Out, Bitcoin payment. Don't miss out on this opportunity to get in to get the bag. All right, I'm helping people get the bag for 120. So make sure y'all send those screenshots. We're gonna go from there. All right. So with that being said, it's your boy King Hustle. Y'all know I get down in these videos. I see you at the next lesson video or live. Peace.